being gay is being gay, and playing softball is playing softball, and neither one have anything to do with each other.
Yeah, it's not a sexual thing. It's just a sport that we like to play.
We're gay all the time, or, you know, that's not something we can change. Playing softball is not going to help me.
No. You know
Do
that?
you want to be helped?
I don't want to be helped. That's right. I don't want to be helped. I'm very happy the way I am.
Most of the Exodus organizations, all of the Exodus organizations that are existent now and even back then, are run by non-licensed people. People that have a high school education, maybe some college behind them or whatever, or maybe even going towards a counseling degree, but as of yet are not licensed, and most of them have no plans on going for licensure, and yet they're doing, practicing in this. And in the state of California, for instance, as I'm sure with a lot of states, that's against the law. But where they slide into it is most of it comes under pastoral counseling, and so they're protected.
We have had no psychological training. We try not to use psychological techniques. We try to go from the Word of God and from what He reveals to us.
I've heard people criticize ex-gay, the ex-gay movement, saying they produce more homophobia and they're forcing happy gays to get out of it. We exist to help the unhappy gays, and there's enough of them that
keep us busy.
To keep us busy that none of us are so worried about the happy gays. I can say that I don't think I've met a happy gay, though.
I might underscore here, one of the efforts of Exodus is certainly not to be an enemy of the homosexual community. If people want to pursue a homosexual inclination, we feel that in our pluralistic society they have the prerogative to do so. But not everybody who is gay wants to be.
As I sometimes say when challenged on this point, I say that these people have their civil rights as much as anybody else. If you want to change, your right to seek change deserves to be respected.
We're not addressing a random cross-section of the homosexual community. That's not our purpose, that's not our claim. But we are addressing needs of people who want help, and people need to have that choice.
This is what Exodus likes to say. Well, look, we're just dealing with people who are unhappy being gay. And they almost make it sound like it would be cruel not to help these people who are unhappy being gay. I said, well, what problem do you have with us just helping people who are unhappy being gay and don't want to be gay any longer? See, the question that they never ask is, why are they unhappy being gay? What made them unhappy being gay? If you had a person that was unhappy being black, would you offer to do skin grafts? If you had a person that was unhappy being tall, would you offer to saw off their legs? I think that the approach has got to be that if you have a person who's unhappy being gay, you work with them on what it is that they believe about being gay that's making them unhappy.
Unhappy, right? But they don't look at that.
The only people who believe that change is possible are the people who believe that change should be possible, and that's very suspicious. You see. Anybody who doesn't have a vested interest in change just looks at the evidence and is honest and says, no, that's not happening.
The very existence of change of orientation programs perpetuates the idea that homosexuality is bad. And this is one of the reasons that I've been against these programs being available. They send the message to people that this is change-worthy. And we strongly urge this to be changed. In fact, we may insist on it being changed. And if you were really a good person, you'd want to change.
People want to feel comfortable with their surroundings. They want to be told that they're all right. They want to be found acceptable in their culture. And that's why almost everybody does try to conform to whatever the going social cues happen to be.
Is it possible for a straight person to become gay?
Yeah. I mean,
Nobody asked that question.
It's funny when you turn that question around because, I mean, the answer is definitely without hesitation.
Hell no. Crazy? That's not my world.
I find it hard to believe that you would really like heterosexual. You're a very strong heterosexual, and you could be taught or learn a new way of enjoying sex.
To become homosexual? Is it possible?
To become a homosexual from a heterosexual is not too easy a thing, I don't think. I don't think that happens too often.
I mean, that's always fun when you can ask that question because then we flip it back around and say, okay, then why do you think it would be so easy for us to change and become, homosexual and change to heterosexuality?
I was very closeted, I was very scared, but now it's become so accepted within my family and also on my job that my family loves me, people in my job love me, and now it's like I don't care.
I think that society is becoming more open to gay people. I think that there's been a greater visibility for gay people in the last 10, 15 years.
The question is, what about the next 15 or 20 years? I'm very uncertain because it's tied up with politics and it's tied up with morals and it's tied up with religion. I don't think it's tied up very much with science. And even if we find that homosexuality is totally determined genetically, even if we find that, we can still have oppression of these people because, after all, being black is genetically determined. It doesn't prevent people from oppressing blacks. So it really is a question of the politics of the times and the tenor of the times.
It's a free country. Let it be the way you want to be. You want to be gay, it's fine, no problem. Some people don't agree with it. Well, hell with them. They're not paying your bills. You're paying your own bills. You work for it. Martin Luther King paraded for his rights. Why shouldn't they pray for theirs?
The other day I heard a lesbian poet, and I almost wanted to be a lesbian for a minute.
Slowly people are becoming more aware that there are a lot of us out here and that we are normal people and that we have normal lives and we're not just seen as, sexual perverts. I mean, that's not what our whole being is about. We're people. We work, we have families, we do other things besides just going to bed with each other.
Sexuality is not about being gay or straight. It's about loving someone and taking care of them and feeling a connection with that person.
I hope it'll come. I think the treatment of society and homosexuals or lesbians should come to the point where there isn't a treatment. They're just normal people.
I think it's extremely important that gay people as such, don't hide in the closet anymore. They don't spend time trying to be something that they're not. Don't continue to let society tell you that you're nothing less than a first-class citizen.
I think as people come out and realize how many of us there are and how we're in every strata of the world, that's the real key. And for me, it's coming out. If gay people and their families and their parents and their friends come out, then we're going to see that we're talking about at least a third to half the world that relates to gay people every day.
People need to learn that being different isn't being bad. That there are lots of differences within the human population, and that those are differences that can be appreciated.